Today we continue our course in system design fundamentals. Today we will talk about rate limiter. So let's imagine that we have this system and we have a user and we have a web server, and the user trying to send requests to the web server, and the web server it will send response back, and everything looks quite good. No problem with that. However, we could go through a specific problem when the user tried to send too many requests to the web server, too many requests, and maybe our web server will not be able to handle that many requests. And it just, but the user doesn't care and just will send the requests anyway. And or maybe this is not a user, maybe they're just a hacker, or maybe it's just an attack. So right now, our server cannot defend itself. Our server cannot defend itself against the unnecessary requests, or against too many requests. So that could lead to our web server could not perform anymore. So in order to fix that, we use a component that called a rate limiter. So let me just scroll down and just grab this component. And the rate limiter is a component that you put between the client and the web server, which will make sure that there is no request that comes. There are no request that comes from the client that cannot be processed by the web server, and it's not passing the limit. So let's say, for example, our rate limiter only accepts 2 requests at a time. So the web server try to send the first request and send it again. It will go because we have only one right now, and the web server is working on it. However, our client will try to send another one. No problem with that. It will be passed to the it will be passed to the web server. However, let's say that our web server tried to our client tried to send third. So let's just say that will happen, and by this one, let's make this one green, red. By this one, because we only accept 2, by this one the rate limiter will reject the third one here. The rate limiter will reject the third one here because we only accept 2, and by this way our web server is way more safer right now. So in conclusion, the rate limiter in distributed system is a mechanism used to control and limit the rate at which certain operations or requests are allowed to be performed or processed. It sets a predefined threshold or rate limit on how frequently a specific action can be executed. Basically, rate limiting is essential in the distributed system for several reasons. One, we have resource protection. Right now we are protecting the web server, so the rate limiting helps protecting systems resources such as CPU, memory, bandwidth, or database connections from being exhausted or overwhelmed by excessive or abusive requests. It ensures that resources are fairly shared among users or services. Also, it's preventing overload, because without rate limiting, a sudden influx of requests or traffic spikes can overload the system, causing performance and degradation or outage. The rate limiters prevent such scenarios by capping the rate of incoming requests. Also, it has a lot of different useful things. For example, it's a great in production backend services. So the rate limiting can protect backend services and database from being overwhelmed by excessive requests. It acts as a buffer between front end and back end to make sure that to absorbing any spikes in the traffic. We also could optimize the cost. The rate limiting can help optimizing costs in cloud environment by preventing unexpected usage spikes that can lead to higher infrastructure costs. So by this way, as you can see, the rate limiter is really useful one. And in the upcoming videos, we'll talk about what are the algorithms that have been used for the rate limiter. Maybe we'll talk about 3 famous algorithms, and maybe we could talk about designing a rate limit in depth. So this will be quite important one for you. So that's it for today's video, and I hope you like my content. If you like my content, make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you never miss a video, and see you in future problems.